call this April 11th work session of the Oconee County Board of Education to order. First thing we need to do is to approve the agenda. Need a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Burgess.
Second.
Second, Mr. Bagley. All in favor? Passes 5-0. Next is Superintendent's report. Dr. Branch.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, board members, for your time tonight. First, I would say thank you for allowing the system to shut down for spring break. I know I've heard from many of the 12-month employees what a wonderful opportunity that was for them to refresh and recharge, spend a little family time, and get ready for the final 30 days that we have of the school year. So thank you for that. I think that'll pay great dividends with staff and the excitement they have going forward. Lots of great things going on, as you know, in the spring, always a very, very busy time. So just will summarize a few. Of course, you had the opportunity to attend the 4th Annual Villa Parent Academy graduation. Thank you for all being there and showing how important that is to the board. I think it's a wonderful event, 6 sessions, and has really become one of the highlights of our year. We continue to get great feedback, and I think Anissa shared that of the feedback that we did receive, 1 to 5, we received 5s for the overall program from all participants. So everybody that was a part of that, whether you're a principal or division leader, thank you for that. And we want to thank those parents for giving us their time as well. I want to congratulate Dr. Kirk Miller, assistant principal at Oconee County High School, has been named president of the Georgia Athletic Directors Association. We love to lead locally, but we also love to have a seat at the table for statewide conversations. We appreciate Kirk and the extra time that he's providing to do that. We've had 7 students total representing both North and OC who are named National Merit Finalists as a result of exceptional PSAT scores. North Oconee did a wonderful job hosting our 2nd annual elementary math competition. Appreciate them doing so. Dove Creek won overall for 3rd grade. Malcolm Bridge won overall for both 4th and 5th grade. And those are some smart kids. They offered to let me take the exam, and I passed. All 4 of our star students for the county, as you recall, we had a 4-way tie, have moved on from the regional level and will be representing us at the state level going forward, and so excited about that. The Oconee County High School literary team was the 3A state runner-up, and North Oconee's literary team was the 4A state champion for the 2nd year in a row. So getting it done both on the field and in the classroom as well. And so appreciate all the wonderful support. I know our principals do a great job of supporting that as well as our teachers. We had 4 young Georgia authors that were regional winners. And they'll go on to the state competition now as well. And those students were from Malcolm Bridge Elementary, Malcolm Bridge Middle, Oconee Middle, and North Oconee. The Oconee Middle School FFA Poetry Evaluation Team placed 2nd in the state competition. And we'll be honoring some of these 1st and 2nd, 3rd place state winners later this month and as we close out the school year. Rocky Branch School Science Olympiad Team won 1st in the regional competition. Rocky Branch, Oconee, and Collin Ferry teams will all advance to the state competition. And I want to take a minute here to thank the board for your continued support of our STEAM initiatives and STEAM certification opportunities that, when we do get the certification, provide that additional teacher to expand these things. A few others, we had 6 finalists and 1 alternate representing both high schools who selected for the Governor's Honors Program. We had 8 students representing both high schools named Georgia Scholars, a recognition from the Georgia Department of Education. North and OC were both named AP Honor Schools for the last several years. That's a continued. And then Niche, recently released their school rankings. It's a school ranking organization, and we had 3 elementaries in the top 10 for the state of Georgia. Dove Creek was at number 2, Oconee Elementary at number 5, and Malcolm Bridge at number 8. Our middle schools, we had Malcolm Bridge was ranked number 4. And all of our schools are ranked well, and we remain the number 1 county school system in Georgia in terms of that ranking. So probably a good thing to end on, so I'll stop there unless there are questions.
Thank you, Dr. Branch. Next, we have presentations and discussions. First, we have teaching and learning report. Dr. Susan Stansel.
Good evening. The April 2022 Teaching and Learning Report contains 3 items of information and 3 action items. The first item of information is the FY22 Georgia Milestones Testing Schedule. The end of grade assessments given in grades 3 through 8 will begin on April 26th, and the end of course assessments given in grades 9 through 12 will begin on April 27th. The detailed schedule has also been linked here. The second item of information is our OCS school improvement visits. Our teaching and learning team visited all 11 schools in March for their mid-year visits to get an update on all the great work that is occurring at each of our schools. The third item of information is an announcement that both North Oconee and Oconee High School have been named Advanced Placement Honor Schools. This is the highest designation that they can receive. In addition, both schools were recognized in the following categories: as AP Schools of Distinction, AP STEM Schools, AP STEM Achievement Schools, AP Humanities Schools, and AP Humanity Achievement Schools. This distinction recognizes their dedication to provide academic opportunities for students to prepare them for college and career after graduation. The first action item for the April Board of Education meeting is the technology surplus list. Through a technology replacement cycle, we have identified technology surplus items for the board to consider for approval. The superintendent's recommendation is for the Board of Education to approve the surplus list at the April 18, 2022 board meeting. The second action item for the April Board of Education meeting is for the new audio enhancement system for Oconee County Primary School. Oconee County Schools posted a request for proposal for an audio enhancement system for Oconee County Primary on February 18th and closed on March 16th. This system includes both enhanced classroom audio for 33 classrooms and for the gym, cafeteria, and media center, and a new intercom system. The superintendent's recommendation is for the Board of Education to approve purchasing the system from Audio Enhancement at the April 18, 2022 Board of Education regular session for $188,232.05. These will be paid for using general and ELOST funds. The third action item is for a new audio enhancement system for Oconee County Elementary School. Oconee County Schools posted a request for proposal for an audio enhancement system for Oconee County Elementary School on February 28, 2022 and closed on March 29, 2022. This system includes both enhanced classroom audio for 34 classrooms and for the gym, cafeteria, and media center, and a new intercom system. The superintendent's recommendation is for the Board of Education to approve purchasing the system from Audio Enhancement at the April 18, 2022 Board of Education regular session for $209,194.27. These will be paid for using general and ELOST funds. That concludes my report, unless there are any questions.
No. Question, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Are these comparable in setup and cost to what's at Dove Creek Elementary?
Yes,
A very similar system.
same system, with the addition of a new intercom.
That was my question too. So obviously, they liked it so much that other schools are looking at maybe trying to do some of the same things.
That is correct.
Yeah, very good.
I believe it's my understanding that eventually all of our elementary schools will have this system.
Our hope is to roll this out to all schools as funds become available, and the new middle school will be set up with this system as well.
Very good. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have operations. Mr. Brock Toole.
Good evening, everybody. The Oconee County Schools Operation Division. April Board of Education report contains 3 items of information and no action items for the April 18th Board of Education meeting. Our first item of information is our energy report. The February energy report shows an on-trend increase in usage over January, and I'd like to continue to thank Steve Bradball and his maintenance team for managing our energy the way that they do. Our second item of information is lead custodian meeting. And as you can see in this picture, we're doing some exercises courtesy of the Fred Farm. The March lead custodian meeting was held Thursday, March 10th, and was hosted by the team at Oconee County Middle School. Mr. Ricketson presented.
Is that the hokey pokey? What is it?
That's the hokey pokey. Mr. Ricketson.
Was anybody injured while this was going on?
We had a big time. Mr. Ricketson presented on the importance of preventing repetitive motion injuries. Our custodial teams are to be commended for the rigorous work ensuring that our schools are clean for health. And also, we had a whole lot of fun doing this. And now, this time, I'll bring Mr. Ricketson up for our third item. He may try to make a motion.
Good evening. For those of you that don't know, we got about 4.3 inches of rain last week. And I'm more in tune with the weather forecast than ever. Do we have pictures?
Yes, sir.
With that said, though, with the longer days and the warmer days, we're actually making a lot of progress. We're doing, and also the contractors love spring break as well, because it allows them to get in school and make connections and tie-ins. And so there was a tremendous amount done last week. The picture you see here is Collin Ferry. We are at the point now they're calling for their above ceiling inspections. So by end of next week, we're going to have ceilings installed. The flooring contractor started this week. So and they've done a lot of the finished grading at the site. So we're really starting to see tremendous progress made at Collin Ferry as we get ready to close this one out. High Shoals. I didn't even recognize it from that picture, and I took it myself this morning. They've done tremendous work over the break. They've finished all the concrete block exterior walls. They're working inside building concrete block walls now. The plumbing's done. The electrical's tied in. The fire sprinkler's tied in. So they're making great progress. This one obviously is running a little farther behind schedule than Collin Ferry. But right now, things look really good for finishing on time for a fall opening. Dove Creek. And Dove Creek has been a real challenge with the water and the mud and the rain. You may have noticed there looks to be a lake that we built out there. I did check. There's no catfish in it. But they have, again, the longer days really helped those guys make a lot of progress. And we're, as you can see from the picture here, we've got a gravel base for the slab. What you see on the right-hand side is the retaining wall. If you remember, it's a split-level school, so you've got 2 stories on the left and 1 story on the right. And so this is the most important component to get us out of the ground and get us moving on this project. So they're doing really well. Oh, and primary school renovation, no point taking a picture yet. They have been ordering materials and flooring for both the primary and the elementary school. So we're getting ready to start on May the 25th with a completion date of July 15th. So they're gearing up to be ready to start hitting the ground running as soon as school's out. This is the North Oconee hitting facility, baseball hitting facility. As you can see, they've built the walls for the office/storage room and the restroom. We're waiting on insulation, which will come in later this month, and the air conditioning, which will happen after that, and as we finish up that project. And lastly, we've got the North Oconee field lighting. They've done a tremendous amount of work again over spring break. They came in and rewired a lot of the poles, and as you can see here, they're actually putting in new underground cabling to the poles. We're hopeful and optimistic that this is resolving the issues we've had at North Oconee. At this point, by the time this is done, we can say that the system will be will have been thoroughly reworked. And I believe that's all I have. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Human Resources, Dr. Brooke Whithire.
Thank you, Ms. Argo, and good evening, everyone. Thank you all for that employee wellness demonstration. I didn't realize that was taking place here. We do have 3 items of information for you tonight, board members from Human Resources. And the first has to do with a very exciting time of the year that's underway. For us, it's hiring season. And last month, you may recall, our staffing allotments were issued to our schools, and hiring season is well underway. You will see again tonight the personnel recommendations that will come before you. They are numerous, and they are deep and solid, and we are bringing some great people to you to join Oconee County Schools. And board members, I want to thank you again, and this is something that I say every year about this time, but I would ask you to not let the familiarity of that belie our sincerity in thanking you for your support in us being able to get out as a district and get out into the marketplace, into the hiring season, and go after the folks that we're going after. You allow us to do that. You support us doing that before the formal budget process is concluded, and that is a tremendous advantage, most importantly for the sons and the daughters that are entrusted to us and for our schools overall. Our principals are doing a fantastic job. I want to thank all of them. Certainly want to thank Justin Kofer and Suzanne Graves and Sonia Higgins in our office. It's a big team effort, and it's well underway, and very good things are going on. Second item of information, just to let you know, as you'll probably recall, 3 times during the year we submit, and Dr. Branch signs off on, what's called the Certified and Classified Personnel Information Report, or the CPI report. The big one is in October. It's replicated in March, and then there's another one in July as well. The one in October is the one upon which our training and experience funding, which is significant, is based for the coming budget year. Just wanted to let you know that that second report was completed and signed off on last month. And finally, the third item of information has to do with contracts. And board members, as you know, our contract process has evolved over the years. For the history of Oconee County Schools, contracts were paper-based until 2 years ago, when we converted to a digital format, really in the nick of time during the beginning of the pandemic season. That's been a tremendous transition for us. Another change occurring this year to streamline things and to eliminate a redundancy is that we are no longer bringing to you a list of employees whose contracts are being renewed for the coming school year. You recall that that's been a practice in the past, but it's one that does not require the board's attention. As you know, the board approves the employment, just as you will later tonight, of every individual that comes to work for our district. However, once someone is approved by you all as the board, then subsequent reapproval of employment is not required or necessary. Those electronic contracts will be issued to employees by the end of next week. Unless you have any questions, that'll conclude the Human Resources.
What's the deadline for them signing the contract?
Once the contracts are issued, it's 10 days.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of names on the personnel list for tonight. Given all the new positions we're trying to fill, and obviously then the replacements for retirements and others we're trying to fill, what, based on this list for tonight, what percentage? How far are we from all of them we're trying to get at this point?
We're a good ways, Ms. Burgess. I would tell you that if there continues to be some things in flux, we'll have a lot more next year. Certainly have a lot more next year. Have a lot more next week. Hopefully have a lot more next week. I would tell you that we're well on our way, but we still have a chunk. There's probably, I'd say, between replacements and new positions and things in flux, we probably have another 40 positions or so that we'll be filling over the next number of weeks.
Okay. So halfway maybe?
Oh, we're beyond halfway.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Thank you.
Next, we have Student Services, Dr. Dallas LeDuc.
Good evening, board members. Dr. Branch. The Student Services Report contains 4 items of information tonight and 4 action items for the April 18th Board of Education meeting. The first item of information is our COVID-19 update. The rolling average in Oconee County is 0.7. The vaccine rate for Oconee County is 67%, with at least one dose, 63% with 2 doses, and 31% with 3 doses. The 5 to 9 rate for at least 1 dose is 22.9, 10 to 14 is 38.6, and 15 to 19 is 60.1. The second item of information is athletics. And I'd just like to inform the board that earlier today, the Georgia High School Association voted to return to 6 classifications for the 24-25 school year, and that'll go through the reclassification period that covers the 24-25 school year and the 25-26 school year. The third item of information is our summer youth athletic camps. We'd like to thank our secondary schools and coaches for working to provide our opportunities for our youth here locally. That's a wonderful service for our students and our community. And this year we have over, right at 18 camps that will be delivered or available for students beginning in May and going through the month of July. The fourth item of information is our school nutrition participation. You'll see before you that we've had a total increase in breakfast of 3.9% and a total increase in lunch of 8.5% when compared to the previous March. The first action item for the April 18th Board of Education meeting is a North Oconee field trip for girls basketball to Spartanburg, South Carolina, June 16th through June 19th. The second item of action item is a North Oconee girls basketball field trip to Clemson, South Carolina on June 26th. The third action item is, it's listed here as an OCHS field trip, but we'll have students from North Oconee attend as well. That's an FCCLA field trip to San Diego, California from June 29th, 2022 through July 3rd. The fourth action item is an Oconee County High School field trip. The football team will be traveling to Hoover, Alabama, July 14th through July 16th. And the superintendent's recommendation is to approve the field trips as presented. That concludes the student services report, unless there's any questions.
Dallas, on the change in the number of classifications for athletics, when will we know how that affects our 2 schools?
So they'll be going through that process next year.
So that's not until next year.
Yeah, it's the reclass itself will take effect the 24th.
Okay.
24, 25.
So it's a year away.
Yeah, so the purpose of it is to put more teams in each class to ease travel.
Yeah. So the likely outcome would be whatever classification we're in, the regions will just be bigger. We'll have a larger pool of teams we'll play against.
Yes,
but hopefully closer in proximity.
Yes, sir.
And that's for all sports.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Even esports.
Even esports.
I know on ESPN 3 or 4 of the weekend I saw some esports tournaments.
Yeah.
Very engaged.
Anyone else? Thank you. Next, we have communications.
Good evening. The communications report has 2 items of information. The first item is the 4th annual Villa Parent Academy. As Dr. Branch mentioned, we just concluded this 6-session series that we hold each spring. So every year, each principal selects 2 parent leaders to take part in this parent academy. The interactive sessions cover the following topics: an overview of the school system given by Dr. Branch, so the state of the schools. And then participants also have the chance to dialogue with board members about board governance. And then cabinet members lead sessions, and they also partner with principals so that our participants understand how things work at the district level and at the school level. So this covers teaching and learning, business services, communications, human resources, operations, and student services. In addition, a field trip experience is scheduled each year, and for this year, the opportunity included Dove Creek Elementary, Transportation, and Collin Ferry Elementary. And we also held our sessions at different schools, so all of our participants also had the opportunity to visit and tour all of our middle and high schools as well. And then finally, the class of 2022 participated in a graduation dinner that was sponsored by Georgia United Credit Union. On our website, oconeeschools.org/villa, anyone can find out more information, and we have all of our classes listed here as well. So once we concluded, we also shared this information with principals so that they could then share it in their newsletters, on social media, and on the website, so that parents at each of our schools could know who those parent ambassadors are. And the second item of information is our monthly highlights video. And that concludes the communications report unless there are any questions. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have business services. Ms. Liz Harlow.
Good evening, board members. Business Services has one item of information for tonight's board meeting. All regular staff will receive a $2,000 one-time supplement this Friday, April 15th. Notification was sent out earlier this evening to all faculty and staff. I want to thank the board members for their commitment to ensuring that all regular employees receive this $2,000 supplement. As you know, the state funded a significant portion of this supplement, but there were local funds that were required so that all employees could receive it, so thank you again. And that concludes my report unless there are any questions.
Any questions?
Yes.
Mr. Burgess?
The employees that we add to that aren't funded by the state, what's the total dollar amount that we're going to wind up putting in to cover all of those other employees that the state didn't fund?
It's approximately $270,000.
Okay.
Thank you. We do have a need to go into executive session, and we need a motion.
Make a motion that the board will adjourn to executive session to discuss or deliberate upon personnel matters as described on the affidavit to be attached to the minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Parrish.
Second.
Second, Mr. Ransom. All in favor? Passes 5-0.